Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Nightbird video. They have dropped a brand new QR code and it is in 2K24. So I will say I am expecting one for Raw as well. So I know people watching this are going to be like, what? They've dropped a QR code. How do I get it? Where do I go? What's happening? Calm down. Calm down. Yeah, I've got you. I've got you. So here, look, we've got this. This popped up out of nowhere, right? I was not planning on doing this video, of course, but this arrived. So shout out to Menace, but many of you have tagged me in this, and a big thank you to everyone that did. So we got the QR code. You scan the QR codes. It then takes you to here, right? I've retweeted that. So Lacquer, thank you, my friend. It said this is the new QR code. Again, many of you tagged me in this, and so it was just literally the first I saw. So we had this come through. I think the reason for it is because 2K24 want to get in on the action. This to me feels similar to the WhatsApp clue. So the WhatsApp clue, it had some interesting stuff. It definitely had some talking points, but it wasn't the biggest of clues. It was 8 pictures. Yeah, and it was interesting. I wasn't down on it, and I'm not down on this, but it's not the biggest of clues. I couldn't find anything in the source codes. The URL is 1119. Now, don't worry, right? That doesn't mean that they're going to arrive on the 19th of November, right? I also don't think we need to worry too much about going back and like really going through like the dates, trying to find the 19th of November, because this is a number that we've seen before. And so we've got theories on what this actually is. And there's one theory that was sort of agreed upon. I don't think it was ever proven to be correct, but there was one theory that was sort of agreed upon that I think most people were satisfied with. I was certainly satisfied with it. And we can touch on what that is in a bit. So as soon as I saw 1119, my mind went to this, and it went to all those theories that we spoke about when this happened. So 1119, this was a clock that was in the Firefly Funhouse. I think it was the small Firefly Funhouse, you know, the backstage Firefly Funhouse, not the big with the window and the door, not the big set. It was the small set. And this was, I think, Abby's clock. And I think it was stuck on 316 because Stone Cold had been around. Not in the Funhouse, just on the episode, right? And Bray hit it with a hammer, and it changed to 1119. And there was a big talking point of why 1119. That wasn't the time. Like, that wasn't Eastern time or Pacific time or anything. Like, it was just a random time. And so we wanted to know why 1119. So there was lots of thoughts, lots of theories. It also featured again in the Funhouse. Here, look. So Henna's, shout out to you. So there you can see it in Bray's hat when he was the Mad Hatter. So 1119. So 1119 features a few times. So Tenard, shout out to you as well, my friend. Let's go over to the actual video, right? We're coming back to that 1119. No hidden words. There is a locker code of he sees you, 2K24, that actually gets you a card. I mean, I don't really get how the game works, so it's a bit difficult for me because I am a boomer. But yeah, that actually gets you something. So he sees you, 2K24. And obviously he sees you has been referenced a lot throughout Nightbird's, throughout Bray's career, right? Going back through Firefly Funhouse. I mean, it feels like a reference, I suppose, to The Fiend, really. And as we said, no hidden words or anything, but there is this video. Now, there's a couple of things in this video that I think are interesting. Most of it is stuff we've seen before, right? It's a collage of, like, imagery we've seen before. There are some segments where it's just black for a little bit. And if you saw the video we did earlier, then you'll know that Jorge managed to find in the black areas, there's a figure that seems to move, right? And I do wonder if there's a figure or something hidden in here. I don't think there is, because I actually think this is a bit of a collage of imagery just so that 2K24 has got something in the game, like they want in on the action. Just like how they wanted to boost their WhatsApp, and there wasn't like loads to that. I think that they've put this in here to just kind of boost this 2K24. And also, anyone that plays the game that maybe hasn't watched wrestling since WrestleMania or something, it's just a good way of letting them know something's happening at the moment that you need to be aware of, right? You're missing something big. And this will definitely get the people that play the game, like, you know, engaged in this. It's showing them as well some stuff they've not seen before, because there's probably a lot of people that don't scan the QR codes, to be honest with you, you know? And so there's probably a lot of people that haven't even seen this imagery before. I would love to know how many people scan the QR codes. I mean, certainly if you think over 2 million tune into SmackDown, I bet it's not 2 million that are scanning the QR codes. It might be something like 50%, you know? And then, of course, you know, the rest that don't scan it, they may catch up with what's being said on social media, and they might find out that way, right? But either way, this is good for 2K, and it's good for those that maybe haven't seen this campaign or haven't scanned the QR codes. So, nothing in the source code, no hidden words. The URL is 1119, a number that we've seen before in the Firefly Funhouse. Let's play the video. So I'm interested in the spaces that are black, but I can't, having just quickly had a look at it, I can't see anything, but some of you super sleuths out there might be able to find some goods. But I also feel like the bride reveals more, right? But again, you can't make it out, other than she's got black hair, and it does seem to come down to about here. You can't make out who this bride is. I've even took a screenshot and messed with the contrast and everything. You can't make it out. But I feel like she goes a little further this time, but that could just be like a trick of the mind. So let's play the video. A lot of this is imagery that you will have seen before. Like that. Is that further? I don't know. And you can see there's moments. I mean, it could just be for dramatic tension, right? But you can see that there are moments that are quite long with, like, where there's nothing on screen. And I would be interested to know if there was anything kind of in the background there. The flickering of remember's kind of interesting, but I don't know if that's just my capture, because I'm looking at the screen and it's not doing it, but it is doing it there. So I don't quite know what that means. I can't see it flickering on my screen. I think that might be so the OBS. So I wouldn't read too much into that. So there we go. That was it. And let's walk through this, shall we? So we've looked at that. We've looked at that. We've looked at that. Here's Bobby. Shout out to you. Said, apologies if I've sent this earlier. No idea what I'm doing. It's about the QR code and the new video. It gives you a new locker card. So there's the URL that you scan. Then it takes you to this that we just watched. Then you get this new card, right? Don't know what the card does, but then I don't know what any of these cards do. But this is a new card that you get in the game. So Bobby, shout out to you. Here's what 1119 might mean. So Vicky, shout out to you. Jesus is showing how the current generation of Israelites is like children who are disappointed because their friends won't participate in their games. The Israelites as a whole complain that neither John nor Jesus met their expectations for how a prophet or a Messiah should act. Now, I would say that that feels really interesting because it feels like it fits now. because obviously there's been a bit of complaining that they didn't arrive at the weekend, right? They're not playing the game properly. They're meant to have arrived by now. And so, you know, this is children who are disappointed. But I don't think it's that, right? Because there's a theory that I really like. Madara, shout out to you. Here's Status, who says this is what's inside. So it's this card that's inside. So you open it up, turn it over. There's that card. Again, don't know what that means, what that does in the game, but that is like a free gift that you get with this. So you get that card. So this is what's inside for my faction. So you can use that in my faction. What it actually does for you, I honestly don't know, right? So we've gone through, I think, have we gone through all of them? We've gone through all of them. So the question remains, what does that mean? What is 1119? And I can tell you that the agreed theory, or the theory that most people were like, oh God, that's so good, is that is the debut date of The Undertaker. That's when The Undertaker first arrived in WWE. And what's really interesting is that technically it is and it's not, because if you have a look at when The Undertaker first arrived, it was Survivor Series 1990. Well, that is, I think, on like the 22nd of November. So you would look at that and go, well, no, that's when he first appeared. And that was the 22nd. But it turns out The Undertaker actually appeared 3 days before that on the 19th for a taped show. So he appeared in front of fans and they recorded a match for, I think it was Superstars. But that match wasn't shown until after Survivor Series. So it's this wonderful, like, weird grey area where The Undertaker appeared. WWE fans or WWF fans saw him, right? Those that were in the arena saw him for the first time, and that was on 11/19. It's just that what the match he has was taped and not shown until later. So there's a bit of debate as to when he actually debuted, because most of us saw him at Survivor Series for the first time, but technically his very, very first appearance in front of fans was on 11/19. So I think anything that's going to connect to a debut is interesting, because we're waiting for the debut of this group, and it connects to The Undertaker as well. That's pretty interesting as well, isn't it? So I always believed that to be the reason. Bray was asked about this around that time, about, can you tell us what the 11/19 is? Is it this? Is it this? He responded by saying, why can't it have a few meanings? Bray has said before he doesn't like to give away answers. He loves the mystery. He says giving away the answer is just boring. So he never would like really give up answers like this. This was one of the frustrating things, is that we'll never know if we were correct or not. So, and obviously 11/19 could mean something completely different than what it did back here. But I really like that Undertaker debut one. That was my favorite at the time, and I think it's my favorite still. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts, or if you found anything else. I mean, as I said, I couldn't find anything else that was hidden in there, and I did try to have a look, see if I could mess with the contrast and the brightness when the bride pulls that veil down. It definitely black hair to about here. But as we said, you know, Alexa could have dyed her hair. Nikki still absolutely in the run-in. The therapist could have dyed her hair. She could be in the run-in as well. I feel like it's going to be someone that we know. I don't think it's going to be someone we've never seen before. One of those three feels the most likely. But, yeah, what do you think of this? What do you think of this latest QR code popping up in 2K24? I would imagine the big concern will be we are still getting some up for Raw, yeah? And I really think we are. I think we are. I think this is just a case that 2K24 wanted in on the fun. So there we go. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll see you later for the Raw watch-along, where we can talk about any updates or anything. And, of course, I'm expecting another QR code, so we'll have another Nightbird video for you later today. Bye for now.